You're listening to Marcher Monthly. This episode is sponsored by Extra Crispy and Bully Audio. Thank you. The music used in this episode is by Justin Collins. Thank you. And the dialogue mixing is by John Savard. Thanks. You can find links to these sponsors and artists in the show notes, as well as by going to enteranakainosis.com. Say that 5 times fast. This episode is the first March. Hot Girls Play D&D. They make out all the time.
Of course. They're basically married.
They're basically married. They that's them. So that's actually, the second one doesn't count. So that's only 2 because I said there were 4. The third one is Estelle. Estelle. And that one we actually talked about in a session, which
confirmed?
It's basically confirmed. And he actually messaged me back, I think, or he said it afterward. He's like, no, you described exactly what happens, which is they're kind of they're old friends that have been there, and it was a will they, won't they thing, but always subliminally or subtext is the will they, won't they, just kind of in the way that it's well, if you're watching this show, you've got, you've got Lizzie McGuire and you've got Gordo. And they spend a lot of time on screen.
He's the only consistent, non-threatening male
right,
in the trio.
At what point? At what point are we going to reach the point where they're the writers go, we got nothing left. He makes a move. And it was the movie.
And it was the Lizzie McGuire movie.
It was the movie. Mm-hmm. And didn't she say no? Or they got back because it was when they were in England. Whatever.
It was when they were in Italy.
It was when they were in Italy. You're right.
It was when they were in Italy.
They were in Europe.
They were in Europe, and she got mistaken for an international pop star and was whisked away by this singer who was fake.
And he realized, oh my God, I can't let her go.
Yeah.
I can't let her get away because she don't know what she's got. And I gotta let her know. So that was the classic, that movie meant a lot to me as a kid. As a Disney Channel original movie kid.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. You should watch it.
actually,
movie night?
So Izzy, stop what you're doing. Watch this movie, then come back to it. Stop texting me that you guys don't kiss at the forge and go watch Lizzie McGuire movie. You'll understand why. So there's that, and then I had some. Because Estelle is now running the tent. She's the one doing the logistics. Victor. There's Victor. There's Estelle. There's the guy I killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
very
honestly
rough.
She's the baddie.
She is the baddie.
She's the baddie.
Also not a girl's girl.
No.
Tragic.
Yeah. She's the best. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Lilitosh.
Oh, Lilitosh. Name has been mentioned, but I don't think I've actually encountered.
Scary.
So she's my version of Tasha is essentially it.
Okay, yeah, she's like has become god of death or something like that, right?
She there was a whole one shot about her.
Yeah,
The dragon,
but
dragon heist.
Killed Von Mar's friend, family member, just to prove a point, right?
Well, yeah, because he was talking mad smack to her.
Yeah.
And she's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, who am I? I'm this guy. And she's like, great, legend lore. Okay, great, awesome. Summoned creature, right? And then she used gate. And she used legend lore and gate back to back. This guy pops up and she's like, great. And snaps his fucking neck using telekinesis, drops him. And she's like, who are you?
Yeah. Tell me again, please.
He's like, oh, wait, did that just happen? I was like, yeah. No, that's not that's the bad bitch version of what happened. What actually happened was I was standing there. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. So she snaps her fingers and he shows up and she goes, really? And she goes, this is your friend? And he goes and his neck twists and you hear it crack and he falls to the ground. And I think I described it literally in that tone. And, but in the bad bitch version, right? She's like, here's your fucking best friend. Let me twist his neck in front of you. And now you're dead.
Find a new friend.
Find a new friend. Find a new friend. So Estelle essentially is... Because Victor is going out and finding all of the talent, right? He has to go and because there's the flipping birds who are performing, and for anybody, I guess again we're talking with people we're explaining enough here, I feel, but I do want to express the tent is a stronghold, and that comes with a lot of power, and he's gonna he's already OP. In combat. Out of combat, Valmar is okay, but when you're in a party where Val Daniil exists and can just give anybody +4 at any point because fuck you, and Tebben exists who can give inspiration until basically he doesn't run out in a session because of the way that the sessions are run. And then there's Aurelian. And it's
wait, what? What's up with, what does Aurelian do?
There's a thing called min-maxing.
Wait, and what is so delightful about it? Sounds awesome. Tell me more about this.
He's a sorcerer.
Okay.
But he's a divine soul sorcerer.
Sounds cool.
Which is commonly known online as one of the top 3 most powerful subclasses in the game.
Of the weakest class in the game.
Yeah.
So best of the worst.
Best of the worst, but it's also the problem is that means I'm going to OP it as well because I'm going to give Aurelian more. Aurelian's at what, level 6 right now?
Level 6.
Don't even worry.
I'm so worried.
No. Now, remind me of this exact moment when you reach level 8. Remind me of this exact moment. So it'll be soon. Theoretically, it's things are happening. The wheels are turning. It's funny how the wheel slows down when people are well, I want to do this instead of what will gain me levels. And then people are oh, wait, I'm getting levels by doing this stuff. Oh, we got to do more of this stuff. And so everybody jumps 3 levels in 3 sessions. Yeah. And then it's great, we're going to plateau here for a while.
Yeah, we're going to plateau for months, which ends up being 4 sessions, right? Right. So leveling up in 4 months from 5 to 6 is so reasonable. Especially when it's it's only been, we're in the 5th month of the year. So
is it? Because I distinctly remember somebody calling me and being why didn't we level up?
Yeah. But that was before it was, I was trying to get to 6. Now that I'm 6, no, you have to.
Now he's happy.
No, because, all right. So, and then because I don't want to, and hold on, can I? But so
check the record. Got the record state.
I believe I've made my case.
It is a good point. No, it's a good point. You bring up a valid argument.
No, that my desire, I just want to gain power within the game. Right. And whatever it is, that it doesn't matter. I just want to always be gaining power and gaining something for my time.
Yeah.
That's my only argument
100%.
is that like, if it's gold, if it's items, if it's renown, if it's levels, if it's spell, whatever it is,
right.
I just want something to be like, okay, I did something.
Yes.
I played, I used my life to play the game and I've got a little something for it. Cool. We can keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued about what comes next. As long as there's that, then if that's power gaming, then guilty as charged.
Yeah, that is. That's what that is. Yeah, you're right.
Literally.
Is it power gaming or are you just searching for a little treat?
Daddy?
No. I'm watching the levels peak.
Can I has
No. So here we are.
So relationships.
So Estelle, like, he's super powerful in combat, and like, especially when he got the fucking upgrades to the sword, super powerful to the point where like when he misses, it swings like, because I have to compensate for that. So I'm choosing enemies with a lot of hit points, and when he misses like multiple attacks in a round, it's like, oh fuck, someone's dying. Like because this character or this enemy shouldn't be alive right now because of just the math. The math ain't mathin', and rolling with advantage 2, maybe 4 attacks per round if he's hasted.
And then I can haste him. Right.
If he's hasted, like he should be dropping a substantial enemy each round by himself. And he didn't one time. And I was like, oh no, who's gonna die? And that's what happened. But like out of combat, he can do the flips and stuff and whatnot, but like that's just a limitation of how the game works, where fighters are really good at one thing. Right. And I make sure that like he feels that, because as anybody who plays D&D knows that like fighters are so vanilla that it basically felt like Wizards of the Coast didn't give a shit about them. Like more than great, you get to hit on a 19 instead of a 20.
Yeah, it just should have been maneuvers are like a core piece, not just the battle master, but like maneuvers are a core piece of being a fighter.
Right.
And you get different ones based on the subclass, but maneuvers should have been built into everything.
Right. And since he chose that, I'm actually giving him the other options.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Like the champion fighter, I'm like giving him those at different points, because he already chose the thing that should be the fighter stuff. So it's like, oh, well then great, you get this and you get this and blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm just giving him, but it's also like to me, the coolest thing, and I hate that he named it Blinky, but it's like, he
really knows how to undercut a moment, doesn't he?
and that's why we love him.
It's like, he has such a powerful fucking sword, and it's called Blinky. And I'm like, fuck. Respect, respect. It's a great character. But like out of combat, he's the guy that like shows up, and he's become that guy that she just has become used to leaving her life. And then he comes back and she's like, oh, right. It's like, it feels like when you get home and like you take your shoes off, and it's like, that's what it feels like, or at least that's how I play it. And I said this in the game where it was like, Von Mar is the guy that without asking, without telling, without even thinking about it, she'll be like up late working on like, okay, these are the things that the tent needs to be, like somebody spilled a shit ton of popcorn on the tent, so I need to go like hire the hirelings that come in and clean the stuff up or whatever. And it's just somebody casting prestidigitation to clean stuff up. But like, she needs to go find that person and like do that. And she also needs to like, talk to somebody because the neighbors are loud, or like complaining that they're loud, that sort of thing. And it's like, all right, we're in the right part of town for nobody to fucking complain about this. Why do I have to deal with this paperwork bullshit? And so she's like up there, and there's like a candle lit and whatnot. And as she's like working on this paperwork, because Victor is more like, hey, we had a great show, folks. I'm going to the bar. See you later. Like, I can't wait to get the next one, And they're like, yeah, but you're in charge. And he's like, no. I've been doing this for 25 years. It's your turn. And she's like, it is my turn. You're right. So while she's doing this stuff, Von Mar shows up with like Chinese takeout, right? Like, and he just like doesn't say a word and just like plops it down. And immediately at this point, I think when I was describing this, somebody was like, Tor witches. Like she comes in with Tor witches. I was like, sure. Yeah. So she comes in with Tor witches, or he comes in with Tor witches and like plops it down and just waits. Doesn't say a single fucking word, just like waits for her to like, and she does. She like drops the quill and kind of goes, grabs it, takes a bite, and she goes, you remember when? And it's like, that's the relationship. Mm-hmm. It's like, there's nothing he has to say. He just comes in, sets some food down, and they are immediately back to being 15. And they're like on the road and they're just talking about that. Yeah. And it's like, it's that point where they've been, like they've just been friends for so long. Again, it feels like you take your shoes off. It's not even like putting on an old pair of shoes that just fit right. It is, you're taking the shoes off and you can just put your feet up and relax. And like, that's their relationship. And I think, and this made me very proud because he went and he goes, no, that's what happens. Yeah. I was like, yes, fucking nailed it.
Home is who you're with.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's her home. So that's that thing. That's where they're at. So what is that? That's 3? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I said there were 4.
So there were 4.
Yeah. 4 is the one who is like trying, but can't seem to realize why the other person won't get it. And it's so frustrating for them because it's fucking Clara hitting on Roxanne.
Yeah. Izzy alluded to this. To me, because she messaged me and she was like, I found some very interesting things about Clara, and I was like, T, tell me right now. And she was like, I know nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, you bitch.
See, this is the stuff we gotta talk about as a team.
Yeah.
This kind of clickbait bullshit.
It is. It's a lot of clickbait bullshit.
And
it's a lot of announcement incoming.
I know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? And she, what did she say? I'm going to out Izzy right now.
Izzy, again.
Izzy, I love you.
So now that you're back from watching the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Of course.
And you spent the entire time calling it the Izzy McGuire movie because honestly, you should have. The fact that you didn't means you need to stop now and go back and watch the entire thing again and call it the Izzy McGuire movie.
Izzy McGuire, of course.
And that's...
because I sent her like ship art reference and I was like, this is so cute. And I was like, and I was like, Roxanne and who, like as a joke. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, Clara? And I was like, what? Huh? What do you mean?
Genuine. I think you and I have had conversations about this like 2 years ago where I was like, Clara, Clara is...
Clara's...
Yeah. She knows what she likes. And before you were in the game, it's like the PA bros, right? So all my buddies from Pennsylvania. And I love those guys. Like they got me into D&D, big fans of them. And we played a lot. I think, and I've said this, like the best game of D&D I've ever played was this session where they were in the library.
And they set it on fire.
They set it on fire.
Of course.
And it was like the coolest session I've ever done because it went from people were like, all right, I think I'm going to go like in 30 minutes. I got 30 minutes to that guy texting me or messaging being like, I told my girlfriend, like, I can't go. And he was like locked in. And I was like, oh, this is that good? This is awesome. And I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It was like, it was narrative. It was compelling. It was fucking cool. And we've reached that point, I think, a couple times. Like, that's my high water mark, right? There also were points in that session which sucked. Like, it was to the point where I was frustrated. I was like, I just want this to end. But then something happened and it like was like a light switch and it just worked from that moment forth. And like, it was like 2 hours of some of the best D&D I've ever played. But the Barty fucking like negotiation, like
100%.
That was also up there.
Yeah.
I think. And then also, honestly, it was, I think it was the fucking like, them getting out and you popping out of nowhere and casting double human word.
That was fun. That was to just like see them kind of freaking out in the group chat and be like, I'm like, oh man, something's happening. Like I'm a little busy, so I couldn't have played, but I was like, I just want to know. Like I just want to say hi. And like other people had popped in before and been like, hi guys, I miss you. I love you. Okay, I'm going by kind of thing. And I was like, it's my turn.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was great.
No, it's so much fun. And that was the point where it was like, no, this is fucking cool. But then there was the other one then was, sadly, it was Sohlm Ball.
Yeah.
Because that was like.
It was, because that was like truly the girly game.
That was the girly
game. It was like, this place has everything. Like it had the dancing, it had the like tension, political intrigue. I see this person that I know. It had Phelan and Red Roof kissed. Oh my God.
It had the montage. At the very beginning, it had the dress montage.
It had the dress montage. Which felt cool from like the very beginning. Yeah.
It was just like, there was a lot of really cool things. And like, again, these are a handful of like, this is why I'm like, damn, I like this game. It's like, now I have a couple, but yeah, those are all fucking sick high watermarks. But again, it's like, once I got that, like, it was the Rapid, like Rapid is the guy, or the character. Like Declan created one of the coolest characters I've ever heard of. Cause I've said this before, but he like came up with, he was like, I have an idea for 2 characters, but like they won't work. So one could be a Warforged. And then the other one I was thinking of was a Barbarian. And I was like, you gave me an ancestry and a class here. Like that's one character. And he's like, is that possible? And it's one of the coolest characters I've ever heard of.
Oh yeah.
And it was that, but it's like, it seems, God, I'm an idiot. It seems when I focus on the player characters, cool things happen. Cool. All right.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like engaging with other people is like the best way to make a social game go. I feel like I learned something.
Write that down.
Yeah. Are you taking notes?
Yeah.
Izzy, can you timestamp this in the comments, please?
No, please. Thank you so much.
What's going to be
Can
great?
you get minutes? Can we get minutes, please?
What's going to be great is Tristan is going to be like, guys, I listened to it too. It's like, at this point is his time to shine. It's going to be hours into this one. The credits. All right, folks. Well, I rolled a 17, which means I go first. This episode is brought to you by Hilltooth Carpentry. Hilltooth Carpentry. If you need anything built, sort of like if you are working on a stronghold, say, and you want to improve certain things on your stronghold, or make a stronghold faster, stop on by Hilltooth Carpentry, and you will absolutely get an increased or a decreased amount of total build time on anything in Eventide. That's right, Yasha Hilltooth. She's great. She, do we want fun facts about Yasha?
Yeah, we do.
We want some fun facts about Yasha. Yasha wants a quiet life near the wilds to the north, closer to her home in the misty hills just south of the Deadlands. She, of course, is Borja's sister. She enjoys collecting trinkets and toys, and especially gemstones. Big fan of that. That's who Yasha is. And Yasha is of Hilltooth Carpentry. Which will benefit anyone who is trying to make a stronghold. All right, that's the first one. Who else we got? Who else is this show sponsored by?
Oh, brought to you by Dima.
Oh, Dima. Yes. Dima of Dima's Adventuring Emporium. Absolutely. What is, let's see. So Dima's got a number of magical and non-magical items available for sale. Everything from, small little trinkets and certain things like not potions, but tools and kits, right? But also anything from flying brooms. Is that right? What sort of things, consumable or non-consumable magic items are you interested in promoting here?
I believe we're going to be sponsored by Rings of Protection.
Rings of Protection. Okay, so a Ring of Protection is in the I think it's just it is a combat magic item. So the combat magic items. Okay, we'll give a 10% off combat magic items.
10% off non-combat items. Incredible. Thank you, Dima.
Yeah, there it is. What Dima's Adventuring Emporium. Stop by Dima's Adventuring Emporium and get 10% off a combat magic item for the rest of the month. That's right. We're gonna run into whenever this plays. We'll say 1 month. 1 whole month. Yeah, we got 9 days. We got 9 days, and no one is running a session for the rest of the month. How convenient. Damn, Dima, what a deal. But no, absolutely. Tell him the Marcher Monthly sent you.
I love that.
Yep, they found out in Marcher Monthly. Hey, look, we need our sponsors to know that they're getting their money's worth when they're buying this ad space.
Do they bring coupons?
They do bring, of course you bring coupons. You gotta say that you heard from Marcher Monthly, you were listening in at Marcher Monthly. Should we just do this in Lanky Kahn's voice?
Yes, we should.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, hello, folks, and here we are. It's Lanky Kahn Noggin bringing you your fantastic ads. Here we are with, of course, Dima's Adventuring Emporium, where you can get all sorts of magical and mundane items. Of course, we want the magical over the mundane. Am I right, folks?
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. And here we are, right? We're keeping this thing going. And, what is that? I'm hearing on the word. Yes, of course. Oh, yes. From their lips to my ears to your mouth. Wait, what? Yes, your wallet. 10% off, that is. So put your money where your mouth is and come down to Dima's Emporium. All right, where are we going?
Yeah.
Yay!
God. Looking at that was, I genuinely fucked up and said mouth and then nailed it. I fucking stuck that landing and I feel really good about that.
You covered it well.
That way I have to immediately, you know how it's like, it's cooler if you don't acknowledge it? Nope, we're acknowledging that one. I genuinely was like, fuck, why did I say mouth? Put your money with your mouth. That's brilliant. All right. Well, it was brilliant, and now we're back. That's why I said it. All right, what are we doing? What's the last one?
We'll do Clin Fair.
Clin Fair. Oh,
we'll do Clin Fair.
And folks, Clin Fair's Forge coming down where the forge is hot and the sales are hotter. That's right. We've got all sorts of kind of items on sale here. What kind of items are we looking for?
Like custom
weapons,
stuff?
Armor. Yeah, custom stuff is on sale. Were you looking for weapons on sale?
That was in character.
Yeah, incredible. In character. All of this is in the ad, folks. Do not take any of this out. We're looking at Clin Fairs. Do we want custom stuff? Custom stuff. Okay, if you're looking for a custom piece, not anything off the shelf, but something a little more unique, more you. Come on down to Clin Fair's Forge and craft your own for 5% off. That's right, 5% off, folks. There it is.
Yay!
Fucking insane. Okay, there it is. That's all. Well, thank you very much, Lanky Kahn Noggin, for showing up and doing the ad reads. Anytime. Really, anytime? No, of course not. You can't afford me. Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's the end of it. I can't wait to hear who's actually going to be recording or editing this, and they are going to stab me. That being said, there are limited items in all of these shops, so please stop on by as soon as possible to get those great deals. And thank you to our sponsors, the Eventide Artisans, who came and sponsored this episode. This is fantastic, and we really appreciate your patronage. If you want to support the show, please stop by these shops, because every time you support them, they support us. It's really important. Okay, that's the end of our mid-credits. His time to shine. And fucking, it's gonna be hours into this one. It might be the second one at this point. But yeah, it's like, no, they that was really cool. But hold on, because we were talking about hot people.
Because they were falling over themselves.
They were falling over themselves for Clara, and Clara was like, she like wrapped them around her finger and like totally played them and shit and whatnot. And she's over there, like, again, she's like, Clara also. Okay, so I was in LA recently, and I saw an interaction that it was like, holy shit, that cracks me up, because that's Clara. Like, so I went to the Laugh Factory. I flew into LA, and I landed at like 7:45 or whatever, and I texted my buddy that was like, hey, I'm in town. My other buddy picked me up, and like we went to his place, and I texted my other buddy going like, hey, I'm in town. The guy I'm staying with has to be at work at 5 a.m. So like he's going to bed. Mm-hmm. You interested? And he's like, absolutely, let's go to the Laugh Factory. The show starts at 10 p.m. I was like, awesome. So I'm in this like late night show, which had, what's her name? Nikki Glazer. Thank you. So
her new special is absolute fire.
She's unbelievable.
Also, the roast of Tom Brady, she crushed it.
Well, that's the
thing.
She
crushed it. Was she prepping it?
She prepped it.
Okay, yeah.
I saw it live where she was testing out the fucking the jokes. Mm-hmm. And she straight up came up. She's like, hey, we've got like the roast of Tom Brady coming up, and I just wanted to check out, like test out some material. And this was not the Tom Brady is someone in my life crowd. This is right. No one was there in 2001 watching fucking Tom Brady beat the shit out of Brian Dawkins with a long ball and like crying because they're 8 years old watching Brian Dawkins Weapon X getting just destroyed by this fucking douchebag white guy. Like, I was like so mad that this Ken doll is destroying my favorite team. Anyways, like, that was not the crowd. The crowd was a bunch of people who were there for like late night comedy. Mm-hmm. And she starts riffing into this guy, and I'm like, I'm wheezing. I'm laughing so hard. And you could tell there was like two other guys in the corner who also knew all the football references. Everyone else was like, oh, that's funny about someone that I vaguely know of. I'm over there going like, oh my God, ESPN highlights for 15 years of my life, like dying. And she was brilliant. There was a person sitting directly in front of me, that the host of the comedy show, it's Tehran, like that was the guy's name. So Tehran was like doing a lot of crowd work in between the different comedians coming up. And at like 1 a.m., like at the end of the fucking show, he points at the person sitting directly in front of me, and he's like, I know you're a lesbian. Like, I do not even need to fucking think about it. You're a fucking lesbian. And here's the thing. Because he's over there and he's like talking about it. He's like, I could steal some of y'all girl. Like, I could steal some of y'all girl, like, no problem. Like, this is fine. You would steal my girl. and the girl sitting in front of me is like she has another girl draped on her.
Yeah.
Draped on her. Like, the whole time she's like going like, ha, ha, ha. And the girl next to her is going, ha, 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 like in her face to know that she's laughing with her. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, this was like amazing to watch somebody clearly like just like the absolute fucking like dom in the relationship. Yeah. And he's over there going like, you've turned girls. Like, you've gone over there and being like, I don't care if you're into girls. I can make you into girls. And she's over there like the girl who's draped on her, and she's like, she's not a lesbian. She's not a lesbian. And he's like, shut the fuck up. I know a lesbian when I see one. You're a lesbian. Like, there's no way you're not a lesbian. You make other girls lesbians. And she's over there. She's like, I was kidding. She is a lesbian. He's like, yeah, no shit. She's a lesbian. And she's just over there like, yeah. he's like, you could fucking take my girl. She's like, yeah. And he's like, you have, haven't you? And she goes, yeah. And he's like, I knew it. like that's Clara.
No, I love that.
Right? Like, that's Clara. Clara's over there going like, yeah. And then she saw this fucking girl walk in with like an arm with like covered in leather. And she's like, what's her deal?
Mama wants.
Yeah, she's like,
It's funny that she scared her the first time she talked to her too.
Yeah. Because that's what she does.
That's what she does.
She does. Like, and that was the thing. You ended a session one time that it was like you were about to literally go down a rabbit hole. And,
yeah.
And that would have been like straight up Clara being like, okay, so what's your deal? Like, what's your deal?
It still can be. We never figured out what happened down there.
And it's actually like hugely integral to a large part of the like lore of the Thieves Guild of the Fist of Iron. Like,
we got time right now.
Yeah. Liam, where is the plantation, huh?
Y'all, listen.
I don't know, but some people aren't there anymore.
Yeah, they're not.
The plantation's a little fucked.
The plantation is fucked because it was based off of infrastructure that has been moved and it changes things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you have the Thieves Guild, right, like the whole point of the yeoman is that his business is your business, which I don't know where I've heard that, but I love it. And so I ripped it off of wherever I heard it.
Sure.
I know I didn't come up with it because it's one of those things that like I have said this, and I'm sure, again, I think someone else said this and I heard it and I ripped it off because it's like, or I started saying it a lot, which is like good writing is, it is unexpected but inevitable. Like that's good writing. And I like that because it's such a simple phrase. And it's especially like when I'm sitting there because I, working at SNL, right? It's like you watch some of the sketches you can tell are just going to work. And that is the coolest thing is being on set with like a pre-tape and you're like, this is going to kill. I know it's going to kill. And then watching, like going on Reddit on Sunday and just being like watching everyone going like, oh my God, this was the best fucking sketch. And I don't work on the live show, so I don't see the live sketches that I know are going to kill. But I saw one, which was when it was like, it was Travis Kelce, when Bowen was like the ex who showed up randomly. He's something from Hinge or whatever. It was the character. I
don't think I saw that episode.
It crushed. And I got to see it because we were shooting at 30 Rock while they were rehearsing it like on Thursday night, and we were watching them rehearse it, and I kept watching Travis Kelce break because it was so fucking funny. And I'm watching, I'm like, this is gonna kill. Like it's absolutely gonna destroy. And again, I'm a fucking nobody. I'm sitting there in a corner watching it on a TV screen, like because they're rehearsing it like 6 floors below us, and I'm like, that's going to kill. And then it did kill. And you just get in those moments where you're like watching something. You're like, this is going to be something. That is what it, oh man, sorry. I got totally distracted because, it's in those moments where I'm like, oh, this is brilliant because it's unexpected. Like the writing is unexpected, but it's inevitable.
Right.
Because once it happens, you're like, of course, there's no other way for it to have gone. And the yeoman, saying like his business is your business feels unexpected because like when you first hear it, you don't know what his business is and you're excited to find it out. And then you hear it and you're like, yeah, of course, that's of course it is. Like, why wouldn't it be that? Like, there's no, once you hear it, there's no other option. That was the only option for it. And I love that, which is why I've said it like 90 million times. I do. I say it all the time, especially in the factions, like for the factions, because they have to talk to the yeoman. And the yeoman, like I cosplay as the yeoman when I'm talking to people because I'm like, the yeoman requests blah, 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 or like the yeoman will do this on your behalf. And they're like, thanks to the yeoman. And they're like, well, he says, somebody will say like, pleasure doing business with you. And he says, well, my business is your business. And then sends it. I'm like, God, it's such a good line.
That does eat.
But it's, So like the yeoman, there's no, like, he's dealing with his own stuff. That's the other cool thing is that the yeoman is like but it's not, no one knows who he is. Right. Mm-hmm. So you don't even know if he is a he. And that's the cool part. It's one of the cool parts. But they did discover another like connection to him. Were you in that one with when they met Leaf?
No.
So Leaf you've met the other one, the Kenku? Yes. The Kenku you met. So there's
that repeats everything?
Yeah. Yeah. The Kenku, I mean, like, come on, if you want a rogue, you want a fucking spy, get a spy who can repeat everything exactly how they
perfectly.
Yeah, right? Like, that's a great spy. Mm-hmm. And then Leaf is the complete opposite of that, where the Kenku, which I should know his fucking name, but like the Kenku is, what did they say? Give it like tape recorder, walking, talking tape recorder. So all they have to do is listen and hear it. The other version of that is, let's just talk and then lure you into a sense of like security and comfort that you're like, I feel like I can tell you anything. And it's like, you can. And then you do. Yeah. And then they're like, fuck. And they walk, or they don't even feel like they walked away and they're like, I really learned something. I feel good about like, that was a great connection. And then they walk back and they're like, okay, so this is what I learned, blah, 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 doing all this stuff. And they're like, how the hell did you do that? I was like, I don't know. People talk to me.
I have a friendly face.
Yeah. And like, that's Leaf. And so like, I used it. It was so bad. I was like, he's deep and slow and whatnot. So he's like, hey, how's it going? And immediately they were like, holy shit, that's Kronk. And so from that moment, I was like, fuck it. He sounds like Kronk. And so, I can't even do it now because I'm like trying to do it. It's one of those things that was it worked so well because I wasn't trying to do it that it hit. And they were like, oh yeah. It was really funny where Tristan was like losing his mind. He's like, that's fucking Kronk. He's like, ah. But yeah. So anyways, that's Leaf. Leaf learned some stuff and like shared some info about it. Doing all that goofy stuff. Yeah.
Who's Aurelian into?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
How does Aurelian feel? How does Aurelian feel about romantic relationships? Or relationships in general?
I don't think Aurelian is against them. Mm-hmm. I think that Aurelian has spent many years cloistered and away and distant from people. And so I think it's not that there's a disinterest, it's that there's a lack of experience and a lack of exposure. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure Aurelian knows what love feels like. So I don't know if there's anyone at the moment. I mean, honestly, I think the closest to any sort of romance that Aurelian has ever felt is when we danced. Oh. I think you asked Aurelian, Roxanne asked Aurelian to dance. Yeah. And that was the closest he's ever come to any sort of romance. Oh. And so Aurelian probably has a slight little crush just because you're the only person he's ever danced with. So he's like, I liked it. She was nimble, I think there's.
A woman was nice to me.
Exactly, which is dangerous, right?
That must mean something.
Don't get involved with the rogue.
Step one.
Don't get involved with the rogue. Don't get involved with the rogue that is really good at disappearing.
Right.
With 16 pages of backstory.
Right.
But also not.
She's got baggage. 16 pages of baggage.
She's so. You don't understand how much baggage she has.
Physically and emotionally disappearing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's someone that he's like I do think Aurelian's closer to like desirous of love than just like flings kind of thing. But also Aurelian is an Aasimar, so I think he feels detached from this world. And I think that's like, he's like, it's not that he's cold, but that I think he's not necessarily like a human, like of this plane. I think he does, maybe he doesn't fully realize it because he doesn't know who he is or who his parents are, where they came from. But that there is this sort of like, almost like a veil between him and the world. And so maybe it's necessary to clear that veil before he could find some sort of love, I think. But I think he's also very confused about, there's a new person in his life. Forgive me. We haven't, who's this, the helper's name?
Oh yeah. Let me pull it up.
Not Clara.
No, hold on.
No, what is it? I'm so sorry, Liam. It's in my notes.
Birdhouse, Water's Edge sighting. It wasn't Water's Edge sighting. It was the negotiation, right?
Because I used the divine intervention.
Correct.
Where are you? Oh my goodness, I feel like the worst player right now.
No. Oh, Kayla, that's it. Right. And so I think like Kayla is very like strange and bizarre. And I think their sort of like weird, detached, sort of like fae-like energy is like resonating with him a little bit, but also is like, you're here to help me in some respect. What you're here to help me with, I don't know. But like that sort of like, also, no one's ever really helped me before. So what does that mean? Like, are there varying levels of love here and partnership? And so intrigued in exploring that. Is it something that's just like, she's hot, they're hot kind of thing? It's like, I don't know if that's the case, but I think that partnership is very interesting and intriguing and very important. Again, coming back to, I said it before, but like the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, right? Like the people you surround yourself is so much of who you are and way far more important than the family you're born into. So I think those are the two people that like seem to like ping in his mind. Oh, and then I mean like the pirate, the lady pirate.
Pirate lady?
Yeah, pirate lady's pretty hot. Pirate mommy is I mean, she's hot.
She is a pirate.
She's hot. So if there's like, if we're talking like no spirituality, like only buying into the body, pirate mommy, va-va-voom, steer my tiller. What? Jay, stop. No, that's too much.
She's a thing. What is her fucking name? I have her name. Gills Finder.
Do you think that veil that he feels because he's a little bit separated from other beings of this plane, do you think that's something that could like go away, or he could get around? Or
I think the lie he tells himself right now is that he needs to, because he's on this sort of pilgrimage and he doesn't know exactly what that means, but he's sort of driven by some images. And I think he believes he needs to like go on that pilgrimage in order to lift that veil.
Okay.
And so I think he sees it more as a reward than potentially a step within that pilgrimage. So TBD.
Okay.
Captain Caitlin Crosley.
Caitlin Crosley. Yes. Raise the mainsail.
Yeah, she slays. She slays. I mean, she's just hanging out with her daughter.
Great.
She's great. Daughter on a fucking.
She's hot. She's a good mom.
3D10.
She's a good leader.
She's got sea legs.
We don't need to. She's hot. She's a 10.
She's a 10 out of 10.
Right? She's a 10 everywhere.
She's a Glisterhelm 10.
Yes. Yes. Glistering hot.
That's what it is. It's wood. She's a Glisterhelm Wood, as in like WOLD or WOULD.
Like wood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Like I would.
Yeah.
Like, it's would maybe pass. Like that's
Would
like,
maybe pass.
Maybe
Yeah.
pass.
I like Smash or Pass better.
Smash or Pass is pretty good.
Or is one of the options.
That's what it is. Or is one. There's this meme. I think I sent it. I sent it somewhere, but it was just like it's this guy who's it's a diplomat who's got like 20 people like jumping on him, trying to like pull him off of the mic, and he's just like gripping the mic, and it just is wood. It's like
Oh no!
That's Kat and Caitlin Crossley. Right?
Oh no!
Wood.
I sent Izzy a really funny meme, and I'm trying to find it
She's about it.
because it's related to Roxanne's relationships and why she's not picking up what Clara's putting down. Also, I haven't seen Clara in so long.
Yeah. Well, little Katie Mare. I mean, Captain Caitlin Crossley's got little Katie Mare hanging out. It's a little tiefling badass who's like 7 years old.
Cutie.
Yeah, she's about it. She gets the life, you know? She's like, my mom's a fucking cool ass pirate. Like, what do you want from me?
I have a pen pal in the next city over.
She does have a pen pal. Rosie, you want to talk about a great fucking relationship.
Oh,
I just think that
I love her.
I think they're the best. I think that those two are the absolute best.
They're so good.
It's like, the thing is that she is, it feels like the Weasleys to me.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the Weasleys, where one is
Yeah.
just like constantly experimenting and like kind of fucking up, but like having a good time about it. And the other is just like mom.
Yeah.
It's not even like, it's not even, she's not mommy. She's mom.
mom.
She's mom. Yeah, she's like mama.
She's
you know?
mom. She's the mom who has lemonade for you and your friends, and you come in after a hard day, like a long day, like playing outside.
Yeah, oh yeah.
In the summer, I, Alex, the player, feel so safe every time we go to Rosie's. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Thank God.
She's just like, yeah, I've got candy. Do you want some? And everyone's like, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, a little bit.
yeah. All right. She's like, yeah, of course, grab some. And he's like, oh, okay. And it's like, whatever you grab, I'm also grabbing. And it's like, oh.
I found the meme.
Oh, okay. What is it?
I do like characters who do not exhibit any hint of sexuality in any way because they're too busy being tormented by the narrative. Like, yeah, I might be gay or whatever, but the labyrinth is growing, so I can't worry about that shit right now. That's Roxanne.
That is Roxanne.
That's Roxanne. That's why she. That's why she doesn't understand what the hell is going on with Clara.
Yeah, Roxanne's like, look, it's nice. It's nice that someone might be into me. That's great. Love that.
No,
But
she doesn't
also,
even.
like,
She doesn't even clock it.
Oh, she doesn't
That's
clock
the
it.
thing.
She's
She doesn't
too
even
busy
clock it.
being assassinated.
She's too busy being angsty and figuring out how she's not gonna die
amazing.
when another house wants to assassinate her.
Dude, the fucking tour.
That was crazy.
That was such a good
That was
moment.
crazy for so many reasons. One of them, me being a dumb player, but also it was cool.
Do you want to talk about that?
I just don't know how to roll and do math.
Okay.
That's it. That's literally it.
No.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
It was such a good narrative though, where it's like
Because you're amazing and you made it work. You made it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
You literally said the math is not mathing
I
here.
did, yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
I remember hearing the
fucked up.
number and I was like, wow, Liam
fucked
gives
up.
out dope magic items.
Yeah.
Like,
It is so funny because also at that point, like I was looking over and there's Julio who's like doing that, and he's like you can see his head just shaking, going like, wait, hold on, no number.
I was rushing. I was sleep deprived. And I was like, let me just roll all these dice. This makes sense.
Yeah, but
Obviously, this makes sense. Clearly.
it did help though.
what was it? Was it 120?
I don't know.
Was it
Stupid.
120?
It was
enough
over
to kill her.
100.
It was enough to like drop her 100% dead.
Yeah.
No question about it. Because even if she didn't like immediately drop to dead, she would have dropped to 0 in death saves.
Mm-hmm.
And the next fucking
Right.
person attacked, which is automatically 2 death saves.
Yeah.
Then it goes to the next character, which is the first one who attacked. Right.
Yeah,
She's dead.
I would have been gone.
She's dead. Like she's dead.
I would have been gone.
But that's not fun. Like to me, that's not fun. But so it actually worked. It worked perfectly as it was always intended to work.
Yeah, of course.
Because there was, again, a faction leader, a person running a faction, walked up to me in real life, put his arm around me at the fucking tour drive.
I remember, in retrospect, I watched that conversation. I didn't know what was happening, but I watched that happen.
Yeah, put his arm around me and said, Roxanne does not, I think he said Serafina. He's like, Serafina does not survive the tour.
Oof.
And I was like, you got it.
Oof.
Yeah, right, you got it.
Fuck, man.
Man, the Church of Light, dude, doing grimy, dark things.
Yeah, you gotta talk to them.
That's why Aurelian's conflicted. I mean, he's seeing, I think I as Jay wanted to have like this idea of, I don't know if I'm sharing too much, whatever, I'll share it.
Yeah.
I as Jay want the story of like Aurelian being the bridge between the light and the wild. And like, right, like the plants need the light, right?
Yeah.
To like make it grow, right? That's what I want Aurelian to be. And so like starting at the Church of Light, but then seeing them do that is like pushing me way away from the light to be like, who's in the wilds? Like, what's going on here? Because like, that's so grimy. But then to also like have all this information I'm trying to research. So I like need them. So I'm in this like uncomfortable position. So for me, that was like a great little impetus for story to like justify to myself as to like why I can like be walking this razor's edge.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful, but also, I was playing the bad guy. Like I was playing half the bad guys. I was rolling, and then I was like, I don't want to be the one responsible for killing you right now. I was like, Liam thankfully saw my face. I was like, all right, I'm taking control of this combat. I was like, thank fuck. I was like, don't make me do that.
Well, it was also like you were like, you know, because I didn't share with you, like, and again, for context, you were not on the team that was competing in a team combat event.
Right.
Yeah.
So because of that, there was no reason for Aurelian to be part of it. And so it helped me, and it was fun that two people got to play NPCs.
Right. And it was very fun.
And we got to, you know, I shared with you some stat blocks, and you got to control them and whatnot. And it was actually really even that at the end, like one of yours and one of mine were still up. So it was like, it was very even. And dude, that whole, I mean, the fact that Val went down early because of like terrain effects, like lair actions, was crazy.
Well, Tebben got dropped real quick too.
Yeah.
He had to dip out.
He was incredibly lower, like he was a much lower level than everyone else. He was underpowered, and he knew it. He knew it too. His hope was like, if I stay back and stay close to the walls, like, then I will be able to heal and inspire. And then they rolled the fucking walls, like stab you. And that was, and it dropped two people in like the first two rounds. And all of a sudden you've got, oh shit, oh fuck. Like it's 4 on 2, or it was 4 on 2.
Yeah.
And those two just happen to be two of the biggest fucking damage output player characters that can fuck shit up. And then some, you know, wishy-washy, timey-wimey fucking Matthew Rock bullshit that happened.
I'm so good at this game.
No, but it's not even that. It's like again, we had said that like other things had occurred there where there were outside forces that made that happen because people saw some bullshit that wasn't in the spirit of the competition. And so did some bullshit of their own to allow you to continue and not die, which is crazy. And also like, it's like subtle spell bullshit, right? Where it's like, it just happens and no one knows why and whatnot. And it just like, that's a good narrative, whatever. It's not a good narrative, but it's a deus ex machina when you need a deus ex machina. The flip side though, is all of the narrative repercussions of that occurred, right? Like everyone knows that the people that were representing like the house of Blade are bad. We all are fully aware that they're bad. Yeah. And they're like bad. And then we also know that the sponsor for your team was willing to let you die. Like, and didn't like make a stink about it. And they haven't made a stink about it. That happened in January in Lion White in that world. And no one has brought it up. They've not said, hey, their team did something to my team and that's not fair. They didn't say shit. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that is not being unnoticed by the people who are in charge. And the cool thing though, like to your point, right? Like the whole point about Aurelian is like being this bridge between like the light and the wild. But something that like the guy who runs it and me, like what we talk about constantly is that like that power is being used, is corrupted. Like they're corrupt individuals using their power for personal gain. And they're using what should be something that's seen as good and just and corrupting it for greed and lust for power, right? And that is like such a cool narrative. Like it's a classic story, right? And you get to be one of the classic heroes that is like, I have found, not only like found and discovered that the greed corruption goes to the top, but also like root it out and change what it means to be the Church of Light. Like, and he is fully aware that like, that's the intention. And so his job is to make it like enticing. His job is to say, whoa, stop giving a shit about Windsail because I'm actually worse.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So scary.
He does. He's about it. And like Windsail is my bad guy, right? Like Windsail is my bad guy. There's a couple other people who don't actually see themselves as bad guys, but they see themselves as people who can manipulate West Marchers for their own gains, which is cool. And I'm glad that they exist. We also have somebody that just said yes to running a faction that isn't in Eventide. So this is the part that's going to fucking like, I think this is the coolest next part, which is that once people get strongholds, which means you need to get a stronghold.
I know.
Like once people get strongholds and like choose where they are, then like you all can start being part of the diplomacy games. And like doing that and stuff. Also, shout out to diplomacy and shout out to Matt Colville for talking about diplomacy in a game of D&D. This is why we do what we do. And also shout out to Matt Colville for coming up with the Deseos, which is part of MCDM, which is part of their fucking whatever bullshit like books. Like the Deseos are part of a villain party that's in Flea Mortals. Like the stat blocks I didn't come up with those stat blocks. But like, holy shit, they just like fit so perfectly in with like, this is like, they're like greed and powerful, but also they're like the Lestranges or whatever, or like the Malfoys. They're like the Malfoys, right? Where like the Malfoys are just like, we're bad, but we're also like rich and powerful. So you can go fuck yourself. We're better than you because we're just better than you. And like, there is a house in Moospalar that just feels like that works with them. And so, of course, the Deseos are part of that town. And again, it's like the Lestranges where it's like they're roughly connected to it, but not like they're just bad at it. They're like the crazies out of the house. And the rest of the house is like, we're not like that fanatical.
Yeah.
You know, and like those two are
they're over there.
Yeah, they're nuts. They're
I'm gonna support you from right over here.
And they're like, let's put you here. And it's like, what does that mean, Prince? But they're like, they do that and they still benefit the house. And so the house is like, they killed a lot of people. Somebody needs to control that land. Yeah. I guess it's us. And the Deseos are like, yeah, totally. Like, but we get like the right. It's that point where they're like, oh, we actually killed a bunch of these people. Why? Well, because they didn't swear allegiance to us. Yeah, but you can't. Hold on though. Like, there's other things you can do. There's like that's actually kind of bad, right? And it's like, why is that bad? Like, they're not for us, therefore they're against us. They're our enemies. They need to die. Okay. And also, like, their mansion is like there, but we actually don't want to live there. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, you can't just take their mansion. And they're like, no, we have the deed for it, but like, we don't give a shit. Like, we care because they're against us and they had to die. Do you want their mansion? And they're like, oh, fuck, yeah, okay. Oh, we get a mansion out of this? And it's like, this fucking guy. So yeah, that's essentially them, where it's like the rest of the House Blade is just, and Blade is also like, Blade's sketchy.
They're real sketchy.
Yeah. Blade is another whole fucking episode, it feels
weird.
like. Yeah.
No?
Dude, Nuuz is another.
She's crazy.
Truly. Like, actually. She's fanatical.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, she's fanatical.
Got that. She's.
Well, that's what it is. So essentially, we've got all this stuff going. I think that's pretty good. Because I'm looking at it and we're almost at 3 hours total recording here.
I accept.
Okay. Good work, folks. We're going to end this here.